Hello, friends. How are you all doing today? What a bright arena. What beautiful faces. Well, listen, I want to talk to you all about, I got to move this out the way. I'm a little bit too tall for that. I want to talk to you all about some of the fears that we all experience. This is obviously for the graduating class, but this is also for anyone else in this room. You know, as I look out on all of your faces, I'm reminded of what I was feeling the day that I was sitting in your seats many years ago. There are many questions swirling around in my head like, what now? Where am I going? Who will be there by my side, and will I be okay, just to name a few? I remember on my graduation day packing up a few boxes to begin my move, then anxiously getting dressed in my cap and gown, calling my friends to find out where the after party was, smiling for every photo that was taken, but most people did know about that day was that I was also secretly and unconsciously terrified of what was coming next. You know, mixed between family members, former professors, and complete strangers saying, "Congrats, you did it. You're going to make us proud, right?" After years of hard work and discipline, I had finally gotten the degree to show for it. Definitely an accomplishment worth celebrating. But yet I felt like I was drowning in the anxiety and pressure of everyone's question and expectation of what was next. You know, as a mental health professional, I now understand that those fear-based questions that I was asking myself on graduation day didn't start as I was taking my finals or as I was putting on my cap and gown. It started when I was a child. I want you to turn to your neighbor, everyone in here, okay? Everyone, and you're gonna be loud with this, and say, "Neighbor, if it's hysterical, it's historical." Good job. And what that means is if there's ever any moments in your life where you see yourself acting out of character, not believing in yourself, or being scared of something, it's your job in that moment to critically think about when and where did that fear that's causing you to act out begin. What you will quickly realize is that your fears or hysterical behavior is actually based on a moment or a combination of moments from your past, which is now a part of your history. When you feel scared, hurt, fearful, upset, lost, indifferent, it is normally due to something that happened in your past that you have yet to realize. And if you do the work to figure out what that moment from your past that's causing these feelings, in the moment now, acknowledge the moment and begin to work on healing yourself from that moment, you will find more clarity and happiness in your life. You know, for me on my graduation day, I realized that this fear of becoming an adult that I was experiencing, this fear of the next chapter that I was experiencing while listening to my school's guest speaker, didn't start in that moment. It started when I was a child. Growing up in a middle to low income household, hearing my immigrant parents constantly worry about the uncertainty of their future and their children's future, being constantly fed messages from the media or adults in my life that I wasn't enough because of my race, my sexuality, income, I became terrified of what it meant to finish school and have to join the real world. My future wasn't all that bleak in my mind, but my future unknown employment status, my future unknown relationship status, my future unknown social status did have me worried. I used to recite this timeless, impactful mantra to myself that I heard from one of the most prolific spiritual leaders ever. His name is Winnie the Pooh. Y'all know who Winnie the Pooh is, right? Winnie the Pooh used to say, "You're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think." Side note, I bet not one of y'all thought that you'd be coming here today and hear somebody quote Winnie the Pooh to talk about your mental health. Well, you're welcome. Inspiration can come from anywhere, trust and believe. But what I loved about this quote from Guru Pooh is that I realized is that it helped me to understand that allowing fear-based thoughts to run rampant in my mind instead of love-based thoughts was never going to help me to determine the destiny I knew I deserved. What Pooh helped me to realize was that there was no need to fear my tomorrow because I believe in the person I am today. Turn to your neighbor again and say, neighbor, there is no need to fear tomorrow because I have prepared today. But what if you're sitting there right now and you're secretly battling this idea that maybe you haven't prepared enough? So maybe I should be scared of tomorrow. Well, first, I need you to acknowledge that's a fear-based decision. That's a fear-based thought. And you have to begin to practice replacing those fear-based thoughts with love-based thoughts. But also, I get it. I know what it's like to experience imposter syndrome. Now, if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's a psychological term referring to a pattern of behavior where people doubt their accomplishments and have a persistent, often internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. Now, Guru Poo helped me, but nothing he ever said spoke to that feeling of being looked at as a fraud. That fear that as I embarked on the next chapter of my life, that people would realize that I wasn't enough, that I didn't belong, or maybe that I couldn't do it. These fear-based thoughts were crippling, but I did know how to overcome them, and I needed something solution-based, something tangible in my mind that I could do and practice each day to remind myself and to show others that I was not an imposter. To remind myself and to show others that my future was bright, and I would always give a little extra support to myself and to others. I started thinking about all the lessons I had received from those positive sources in my life. And I mean my mentors, my teachers, friends, and family members who would share with me these little nuggets of truth that I knew I could trust because I could tell it wasn't based on fear, but on a love of themselves and a love of me. These are the people that in my mind specialized in giving extra when I was in a time of need. They could see that I needed them, and they would muster up the courage to show me love and support I needed. I think that is one of the most beautiful things about being humans, is our ability to give extra to others in order to help them have better lives. You know, always being a critical thinker, that day after graduation, after making that much-needed trip to my local pancake house to get much fried food to soak up the experience I had the night before, some of you might have that tonight, I started to compile a list of what they had shared with me, of how they had overcome their fears and their uncertainty for their future. As I wrote this list, I began to notice several reoccurring themes. And these themes of truth and love were right in front of me all along, yet I had missed them in the cloud of doubt that was filling my mind. In this moment of introspection, I became clear and created a solution-based mantra that I still use to this day. Now, that solution-based mantra is this: I know me. Now, the mantra is the letter I, the word know, N-O, and the word me, M-E. I know me. Anytime I'm feeling fearful of my future, anytime I'm feeling alone or scared, anytime I think that if they don't like me as I walk into a job interview or network with a group of strangers, I stop myself and remember this mantra, which was based and broken down to 3 rules of overcoming fear. Number 1, I. Never hide any parts of your identity, because you are perfectly designed. Each one of us have parts of our identity that we are scared will stop us from having the life we want. However, what I have learned is that every part of my identity is what will give me the life I want and what has given me the life that I have today. I know when I walk into an interview, I bring every part of my identity. I share how being a black man, a gay man, a father, a Christian, a son of Jamaican and Cuban parents has given me the ability to assess every moment through a lens that this company or these individuals need. So I never hide any part of my identity. That's the I. Number 2, the no. Never be afraid of the word no, both hearing it or saying it. As we grow up, when we hear the word no, we start to believe that means we are not good enough, or that we will not get the life we want,
But when we receive the word no, it is actually providing us with lessons we need to get to the life we want. No's are stepping stones that we can stack to climb to the success we want. On the other side, we can't be afraid of saying no either. Because by saying no, it's about setting clear boundaries for what you want and what you need, which is the healthiest thing you can do for yourself and for your mental health. As you start to matriculate through life, never forget that saying the word no doesn't make you a horrible person, difficult, or uncooperative. It means you are aware of what you need and what you don't need. Find the courage not to be afraid of the word no anymore. And number 3, me. What is for me when it's time for me. Which translates into do not compare your journey with someone else's. As others begin to get jobs, get into relationships, start families, it is very tempting for every single one of us to ask, why has this not happened to me yet? But what you must remember is that comparison is the thief of joy in your life. You have to remind yourself that your experiences are unique to you, and you must be patient with yourself on your journey. So the mantra I still use today is I know me. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, I know me. You know, friends, as I leave you right now, I just again want to congratulate all of you for the hard work you've done to get to this place in your life. And I want to congratulate all your friends and family members who are here supporting you and showing you love. You've done something big. And I want you to remember all the times you felt down, you felt sad, you felt scared as you were getting here. And I want you to know those feelings are going to come back as you go through life. But you have the power and you have the tools to fight against it. Every single one of you are going to have a great life. Trust and believe. I'm telling you, there are many times I doubted myself. Many times. But as long as I remembered that I had it within me already, things turned out okay. As long as I remembered to be patient with myself, things turned out okay. And as long as I remembered that mantra, I know me, everything turned out exactly as it needed to. Thank you so much, friends, for allowing me to be here with you today. And remember to continue to give yourself love and to continue to give other people love.